Hi everyone. Today I'm just going to be going over some of the guidelines for blogging as well as how to post a blog and as well as adding pictures and or video to make your blog really visually appealing and entertaining. So a couple quick guidelines to go over. There's no need for like proper headings as in the group and the time and the date and all that kind of stuff. The blog does all that important stuff for you. And make sure that the proper title goes into the title box. Speaking of titles, I'm going to scroll down here for a second. Make sure that all the important words in the title are capitalized and that there are no quotation marks unless you're referencing a book in the title. Let the blog do the formatting for you. There's no need to indent paragraphs. Only bold or italicize if you're trying for emphasis. And especially because this blog is public and you're putting your work out there, be very aware of the spell check and the grammar. And the reason for that is simple. We've talked about it so far this year that the best writing is so clean and easy to follow, and grammar has to do with that. If we're stopping constantly to check spelling and to try to figure out exactly what you're trying to say, it's going to be hard for your readers to believe that you're a credible writer, and that's a skill we're going to work on throughout the year. So let's go into the blog and I'll show you how it's done. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to click on where it says, when you get into Blogger, click on your blog. You can also just click add a new post over here. So you have kind of two options here. Hit over here, or if you go in here, it brings you to that dashboard that you've been on before where you change the layout and all that stuff. And you can click new post. Now, one of the first things I want to alert you to, it is expected that you provide a tag or a label for your post, and we're going to label this post English. And throughout the year, the posts are really going to be labeled, excuse me, just by what kind of assignment it is. Is it an English essay? Is it done during Flex? Is it an ABC? And that way it's easier for us to track your work in all the content areas. Next, you're going to go in and take your piece. In this case, I took a email I sent home to your parents, and I added more of like a hook and an intro, and I decided that I want that to be my first blog. And you're going to put it right here. And then you're going to add a title. And I chose to go with setting the tone because the main idea of my blog post is about establishing expectations in the class and talking to each other about what we need from each other to have a successful year. Now, when all this is done, you can go ahead and hit preview, and definitely always hit preview because look what just happened here. I'm not necessarily a fan of how this black looks up against it, so I think I'm definitely going to have to go in and change that. So one way to do it is to click out of the preview and to go back here. And let's see. First of all, I don't like that the font is necessarily not matched, so I'm going to make sure the font matches, so it's Georgia all the way across. I'm going to change this font color to like a more of a gray, and then with the background, I'm just going to go straight black. And then when I hit preview, see how much nicer that looks and how much crisper? Now, another thing that I'm realizing is I don't have any pictures. It's kind of a boring, not quite developed blog. It's just a bunch of words. So to oomph it up, I'm going to add some pictures. And the pictures are going to go wherever the cursor goes. So for example, if I put the cursor here and I click on the image icon here, I have a couple files I can add. So for one, I think I have Group 77 in a writer's workshop, and they were looking pretty cute that day. So add selected. Now it goes right in the middle, and the default size is to be medium. So I can keep it medium, and the other thing I like to be able to do is put it on either side and let the text wrap around it. I just think it makes it look cool, and you can also make it smaller if you don't want to take up too much space. And I also suggest you add a caption. Again, it just gives you a little more credibility and makes it look a little more professional. So I'm going to go again right down here. Put it maybe like right there. Image, and then I believe I have a picture of Group 78 from the first day. I'm going to select that image And there it is. So again, I try to stay consistent with my photo sizes. I think it's easier. So I'll make that small. And then to add a little variety, I'll make that go over to the left. And the caption is Group 78 on day 1. And voila. So I can hit preview again. And you can just see the difference that adding that extra layer does. I think it makes it just so much nicer and so much easier to follow. And it makes your page more appealing. And I like when the pictures match. Now, that caption section, right, that's right here, that part is really important, especially if you're going to be looking at images that aren't yours. These are pictures that I took myself. If you're going to be borrowing images or using images off the internet, you need to get the exact site they came from. Remember, Google Images is not an accurate answer for that. So I hope that you found this very helpful, and I'm really looking forward to seeing your first blogs and starting this process with you. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. If you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, I look forward to reading your blogs coming up over the next week or so.